The greatest artists play for history, such as their passion, discipline, insight, and belief. Ben Franklin so believed in the American experiment that upon his death in 1790, he bequeathed 1,000 pounds sterling to be held in trust for Philadelphia and Boston. The trust was to be expended over 200 years. Now, a financial inheritance can be accurately assessed in dollars, but what's the value of an artistic heritage? Who calculates the value of Amazing Grace, or Yankee Doodle, or Go Down Moses? Well, those spirituals were the first body of identifiable, purely American musical art. All kinds of people from all over made one through tragedy. People played drums in Congo Square in New Orleans, and all kinds of people danced to this music because those drums reminded people of who they were. And what they played told folks, this is a new land, and they knew to mind the drums because those drums are memory and they carry meaning. In Bostonian, Ralph Waldo Emerson told you about the power of individuality. New Yorker Thelonious Monk told you a genius is he who is most himself. And John Henry was being himself when he said, a man is a natural man. And before I let that steam drill beat me down, I'll fall dead with this hammer in my hand. I'll fall dead with this hammer in my hand. And that's what artists all over America have thought when extracting the guts of the American soul for those essences that make us one, that awaken us to who we are. And I'm telling you that Edgar Allan Poe sang the blues before the blues were even born. And Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, and a lot was in it, and a lot wasn't. But things are never important for what they aren't, especially art. And that book told people the Constitution, slaves were people, and no matter how much it was mocked, it wasn't funny. And that book made people aware. But oh, those stubborn spirituals. Those spirituals were Asian, Irish, African. They were so many things. Those spirituals told you every man was one man way before the DNA told you that. Slaves reaching across time to connect the Old Testament and the New, and Moses and freedom and Jesus and freedom, and made it all be now. And they couldn't even read, but they knew. And I'm telling you, those songs brought people together because singing gives a community purpose. And they put everything in those songs. And that music made us believe, and the music called us home. Yeah, people were in chains in the land of freedom, but would soon be free. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls came a-tumbling down. We all know these songs, just like you knew that right now. We know these songs. These are our songs. And Count Basie's Kansas City Band was the greatest community organization to ever leave a city. And they swang and stomped the blues from Bellingham, Washington to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And his two greatest bands were called New and Old Testament. And there's old Lester Young holding his Old Testament saxophone at a 90-degree angle with a leaning pork pie hat, echoing Ralph Waldo Emerson's self-reliance, talking about, you got to play your own song if you want to join the throng, baby. And he poured totally original lyricism into song after song. And all over the country, people argued about life and love and loss and freedom and God and who they were or who they wanted to be and who they wanted their kids to be. And here we are fighting each other over freedom, but doing it to good music. No two armies on earth ever had better fight songs. And ironically, the music drummed out in Congo Square in New Orleans was in 6 and 4 together. Let's see if we can count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now, wouldn't you know it? The South's theme, Dixie, in 4. Now, guess about the North's theme. What do you think that's in? It's in 6. I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. You sound good playing that, Vic. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Boy, if you played it in New Orleans, you could get, and we all still know it. We all still know it. And the Battle Hymn of the Republic becomes the Washington Post March. It becomes the New Orleans Parade Anthem, Didn't He Ramble, and the classic Mickey Mouse theme, and all of them are in 6. That 6 was powerful. And when they finished cursing, blaming, and killing each other, they realized they were still on this land, still together. And we marched in the streets to the tune of We Shall Overcome. And they ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. And Mahalia Jackson sang spirituals and songs that sounded like the heavens with an approach influenced by the earthiest, down home and nastiest blues singer of them all, the Empress Bessie Smith. And those songs they sang and the way they sang them were all you knew. Those songs were all you needed to know and all that you would ever need to know. And Martin Luther King was in jail in Birmingham, living Henry David Thoreau's treatise on civil disobedience under a government which imprisons any unjustly. The true place for a just man is also in prison. Dr. King was using the Constitution and the powerful American art of negotiation to pursue freedom, while Louis Armstrong told President Eisenhower and the nation, they've been breaking the Constitution down there for years. And Dr. King and Louis were not alone. Americans of all stripes joined the struggle, and the people at last became legally free. I'm telling you, this liberty was some serious stuff. Brother killed brother over it. Churches were bombed and kids killed. And John Coltrane, with his healing tenor saxophone, brought us together and reminded us of who we are at our best when he recorded Alabama. Once you turn this freedom loose, you know it could go anywhere. And the people used their freedom to buy entertainment. And they sat to watch burlesque and a vulgar blackface imitation of darkies and coons. And P.T. Barnum said a sucker was born every minute. And those drums were still beating in Congo Square. But nobody was minding them.